Hi, how's it going? I'm Marlene. Thanks for wandering by. Today, I want to talk about balance. Well, I want to talk about some practices that I've been doing and a specific practice with Tarot and Oracle that I've started recently. And I want to talk about two things: work and play. And I thought of this because, well, over the course of working with the tarot and learning about tarot and oracle and making that a part of my life, the word work gets used quite a bit in reference to what we do with tarot and oracle cards. And I made a video way back about tarot buzzwords, and the word work was one of them because it gets attached to all the different kinds of, or a bunch of different kinds of practices that you can do with tarot and oracle. So shadow work, deity work, ancestral work, dream work, all, like all that kind of stuff. And I found the word work in tandem with the tarot as something really fascinating. At first, before I started really like working with the tarot, and when it felt like work, like something that I had to put my energy and effort into, and all of those things led me to the word intention. So I feel like when we are working, like, and when it feels like work, when it's something that, when you're using the tool of a tarot deck or an oracle deck, or combined, those two things combined in a very intentional way to work on something in your life, or for me, specifically like working on things in my personal life, it is intentional, and it is, for me at that point, it feels like work. Now, it can be, that doesn't necessarily, like, work sometimes has like a negative, connotation to it, like, but I think the thing about it is that it takes effort and it takes intention. It is something that I keep saying we because I'm, talking to everybody, but I'm really just sharing my own experience, that I have considered and have wanted to intentionally work on, like put effort into, to think about, to write about, to perhaps change or make, learn from, and have like maybe actionable next steps in my own life. So yeah, so there's this side of practice, there's this side of what I'm doing with the tarot and oracle that is genuinely work, that it takes effort on my part, that I commit to doing, that I am intentional about and mindful about, and it feels good, but it does feel like work. It does feel like something that can be exhausting, that takes energy, that is, can be rewarding, like a lot of work can be, but it is work. And I want to give myself some credit for it when I do it. I want to give myself time, and I want to be patient with myself when I'm doing this work as well. And I encourage, you all to do the same. So that's tarot work. And whether you put something in front of it, like shadow work or deity work, ancestral work, whatever it may be that you're intentionally trying to work on. So like you're using that kind of work within the work with the cards to then, that has like maybe a larger purpose. So like shadow work, can be defined in many, many different ways, but like just for the sake of, this video, just, shadow work is the work of discovering your shadow, and however you may define that as your unconscious or subconscious or things that, remain hidden psychologically anyway. So I don't want to get into like what shadow work is. I just wanted to talk about work and play and how the tarot and oracle or decks, cards, practice in my life has how I have done both of those things, working with it and playing with it. And I wanted to share with you some of the practices, or one of the practices that I'm currently started that is for me work. And I also want to share with you a practice that for me is play. Now let's just quickly talk about play. So these are, the tarot was a game. It was originally, it all comes from playing cards. Like it's a game. Essentially, like it was, that's what cards were to me, as well as a child. So like there's a history, there's something like woven and baked into the act of these cards that is inherently playful. That is a game. It's experimental. It's also tied into like creating stories, because that was one of the games, anyway, I don't want to get into like the history of tarot and like how the different games and things that were used, that they used it to play. But all I want to say is that on the flip side of all this work that I do with the tarot that is deep and psychological and is tiring and takes effort and is very intentional, there's also this whimsy and kind of unintentional way that I work with the cards that is playful, that is experimental. And you've seen me do some like experimental things where I'm just like putting cards down, seeing how they look together, things like that. But some of that stuff is more intentional, and it has like a purpose for work. Like doing this work that I want to do later. Sometimes I just play. I use the cards simply for play. And what I want to do is show you some cards and talk about the practices that I'm doing. And we'll start with the serious work. We'll start with the serious work that I'm doing with a particular oracle deck and tarot deck that I've recently begun. So this is the Journey of a Lonely Soul oracle cards. This is it Lo Scarabeo? Yeah, it's Lo Scarabeo. I got this deck. It was an impulse purchase, just simply based on the images that I saw. And when it arrived and I opened it up and started looking through the cards, I realized that there was, the first card is Inward Initiation. I realized that this deck is a journey. It is a journey of a lonely soul. And upon looking at each of the cards, so it has this like really bizarre, flowy, I guess this is digital paint. I have no idea. I should never talk about the art. But anyway, so it has this really, it has the image, and then it has like a title, which would be like an Inward Initiation. 2 is The Cave with No Windows. I don't usually work with oracle decks like this because the Cave with No Windows is not, it's not like just one keyword where I can like then bounce off of that and work with tarot next to it, in the way that I'm used to. I'm used to just, I like oracle decks that have the one keyword like passion or beauty or whatever. This is like a specific like storyline. For me, it's like a plot point. It's like a story, like a theme, or it's a place. It's something to visit. It's, I don't know. It's something created specifically for this deck, even though it has, meaning to anybody who would, it has meaning to anybody who would like pick it up and read The Cave with No Windows, and then you make associations based on that, right? But the thing about it is that when I was looking through, it felt to me like a specific progression of a journey, and it has ebbs and flows, where it feels like there's, positive and negative things to collide with, and like things to discover. And so when I saw it, and then when I read some from the guidebook, I realized that I wanted to do something very intentional with this oracle deck. I wanted to go through the journey of the lonely soul, card by card, in order. And that's a work that I'm doing. I don't know if it would be considered shadow work, maybe even kind of like dream work. But regardless, this is work. This practice that I have embarked upon is work because it is intentional. Like, I'm doing this for some very specific reasons, for my own personal, like in my own personal journey, right? Like things that I want to explore, things that I want to overcome, personal things having to do with, with my identity, with my family life, with my work life, with my life's purpose, with my own, emotional well-being and things like that. Oh man, I want you to see how pretty it is. So when I started flipping through this and realized that this is not the type of oracle deck that I usually work with alongside the tarot in my like everyday tarot kind of way, I wanted to see like Ballroom of Echoes. What is that? That's that's some sort of idea, or theme or metaphor that I don't have a connection to yet until I get into the guidebook, and also, use look at how beautiful that is, and also use the images intuitively to work with. So each one of these cards, represents something that I have to spend time thinking about, and how that, what that means to me. So it's like work of discovering myself as I go through, kind of. So the process with this work, this practice that I have, my own journey of a lonely soul, is that I haven't given myself like a lot of really strict parameters around this practice. But what I'm doing that I'll share with you is that I'm taking one card at a time, and like I said, I'm doing this in linear order. So I'm following the numbers and going on this journey with this this black-haired woman. I am going card by card, and I am giving myself time with one card at a time. So I'm pulling a card, and then I'm going into the guidebook. And honestly, the guidebook is good, but it's not like super lengthy or involved. I'll give you an example. So I go into the guidebook, and then I read, about the depiction and the message there. And then there's typically at the end of the little description, there are a couple of questions, and I then use those questions with tarot. And I'll show you the tarot deck that I'm using alongside this. So there's only 32 cards. I had thought about doing this for a month, right? A month and a couple days, and doing a card every single day. But that's not the work that I want to do. Oh, I edged this. This is the backs. They're so pretty. And I edged this in black. That's not how it felt. It didn't feel right to give myself like a time frame on it. Instead, what I decided is that I'm going to spend as much time as I need with each one of the cards, and keep it out on my desk. And I'm journaling about it, and I journal about it like initially, and then I revisit my journal and I revisit the idea behind this, plus the tarot reading that I do alongside it. And then when I'm ready, when I feel like I'm ready to go on the next step of this journey, then I move on to the next card. And it's been very much guided by how I'm feeling about it and when I'm ready to move on. And it's been so right. Like, I've just been following my gut instinct about when I'm ready to move on. And when I do, the next card has been like perfect for the moment. It just really has been working out that way. So let me just show you, I'll show you the, and read maybe a little bit from the guidebook. I mean, the first card, it's an initiation. So I've only done a few. I've only just started this. So I'm really brand new into this work and practice with it. So it's a Lo Scarabeo, so it has, it looks longer than it is because it has the different languages that it's translated into. I did read the beginning, welcome to the journey, how to use this deck, and that was cool. But really, so the way that that it is set up, it has this like quote in italics, and then it has an explanation. It's really more like a kind of like a self-worth kind of boost. I don't know. It's both like facing something and be feeling empowered on the journey kind of write up. Like, it's I don't know how to explain this writing. I don't want to read the whole thing to you, but like, it explains the imagery a little bit. Like, it talks about this apple, so you can work with that as well. And then it gives you a couple of questions, and that's where the tarot comes in. So for example, the inward initiation, I'll read the quote. I guess the quote kind of talks to the image as well. So here, I'll read this to you just real quick. Shoulders back, eyes bright, poise perfected, she stood at attention. At the edge of her senses, she directs the object of her desire within her reach. With all her will and considerable training, she waits for the moment to be ripe. So you see, it's about the apple. Anyway, it goes on, and then so from the get-go, this deck really feels like it's an initiation, like it's a get ready to do this thing. And that's really, I felt this very strong pull to do that myself. And then it says, ask yourself, how can I be more firm with myself? How has my training taught me to cope with this? So there's more in between that explains, what those questions are really about. And so that's what I did with the tarot. So the tarot deck that I'm using alongside this is the Intuitive Tarot by Scylla Conway. And these decks are so gorgeous together. Maybe I'll just show you them a little bit side by side so you can see how beautiful. I don't want to mess up my I don't want to mess up the order of the cards, so I'll just quickly. Just show you a few. So you see like how stunning they work with one another. At least I think so. And so far it's been two questions at the end of the little write-up. And so I've been pulling 2 cards on either side of the tarot. Just one more. Just want to give you an idea of what these look like together. Gorgeous. Oh, no, I lied. One more. This is the last one. That's cool too. So yeah, so I shared that with you in this practice because I really wanted to kind of talk about that balance in our practice, in our tarot practice, in my tarot practice, like using our, but I really do feel like we're, on this journey together. If you're watching this, we're kind of doing this sort of thing together, right? But like finding a balance in, this very intentional work. Now, the images are lovely and it's beautiful, but like the work of this journey, it's not called the journey of a lonely soul for no reason. Like this is emotional, immersive, tiring work that takes effort on my part, but it's intentional. It's something I want to do. And I've embarked upon this and I've committed myself to going through these 32 cards at my own pace. So yeah, like that's one of the things that I'm doing with tarot, and it's very rewarding, but it's also kind of exhausting. And I don't know if any of you find that, that it can be tiring. It can be tiring to do this work. And so I feel like it is really important to then also consider that playful side of the tarot, the playing card, the play aspect of working with cards. And I do. And so I also engage in practices, and this isn't brand new. It's something that I've been doing for some time. I just shuffle and play with, like, unintentionally. Like there's not a lot of rhyme and reason behind it. It's not like super mindful. It's not about anything in particular. It's not about me trying to like figure out, my psyche. It's not about me trying to interpret a dream. It's not about me trying to, set goals or be creative or anything like that. It's literally just the practices, just me sitting. Usually I do this in bed, like before I go to bed, watching TV, tarot tube, I don't know, something that I'm watching, and shuffling the cards and just making spreads sometimes asking questions, sometimes not, sometimes just looking at the images. And I almost always have a deck on my nightstand that I'm using for this particular play. I do have games that I play with the tarot that I've done in the past. I tried out like a tarot solitaire game, and there's lots of that kind of stuff that you can find on YouTube. But like it doesn't even have like an objective like a game. It's just flipping the cards over, looking at them, feeling like, shuffling and playing. Like sometimes it's just looking at them side by side. Sometimes it's what's on the bottom of the deck, what's on the top of the deck. Sometimes it is sometimes it does have a question about, how was my day and the energy of the day, or part of my nighttime, before bed message and things like that. But mostly it just feels like I'm shuffling and playing with cards. That's it. And it's very playful. It's very playful. It's very comforting. It's very soothing. And I know lots of you, or I'm not the only one who, this is not like something I feel like I made up. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard of many of my tarot friends, many of you probably do this too. It's not like, it's not complicated. Like, there's nothing like really deep and whatever about it. It's like really as simple as just having a deck that is near you, that you break out, shuffle, and just look at and do whatever the heck you want with it without really any intention. Free form reading, whatever it may be. So right now, so all that in terms of playing, because it doesn't have, like, I'm not journaling, I'm not making note of the cards that I pull, I'm not doing anything with them except in the moment. And I do have some, but I do have some very intentional in the moment practices that I do, but this is really unintentional. Like, it's really just random. It's whatever the hell I want to do with that deck at the moment. That's what the practice is. It's not even like, I don't even know if I could term it as like a practice. It's like, it's play more than it is a practice, but I guess you could call it whatever you want. Right now, the deck that I'm using like that is the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. And this is I'll leave links as always below. This is a mass market deck, so I'll leave the link for it. The intuitive tarot that I just showed you is indie, so I'll leave the link where you can get that as well. These are the backs, and I edged my deck in these colors, all these different colors. This is a really, what's the word for this deck? It's kind of cheesy. It's like modern images and angels. It has, like you see, so it has keywords at the bottom. This is actually a really good deck. It would be a really good deck for a beginner learning the tarot. But this is the deck that I'm playing with right now. And it's a tarot deck, so you don't have to, like, I don't have to just use it as play. Like, I can use it for anything, for serious work in my tarot practice. But right now, this is the deck that I'm enjoying, the way that it feels. It's like the matte, I don't know, like, it's kind of cardboardy in a way. I'm just enjoying having it by my bedside and taking it out and shuffling it. It's not like a super great shuffler because it's oversized, like an oracle, I guess this is like, I feel like standard, like oracle size. I do the side shuffle with it. And then I do overhand shuffling with it. I just sometimes like spread all the cards out. Sometimes I just like line them up by color. I just play. Like, I literally just look at them and play. Sometimes I pull out a card and, have a question. But this is like my playtime to just be with the cards not in a, any specific kind of a way. And I need that element as part of my tarot and oracle practice, or like in part, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say practice. I need this, like, this unintentional play with the cards as part of the way that I engage with them to balance my engagement with the cards, right? I need that balance because the other stuff is really hard. Because the other stuff, the other stuff that I'm doing is really difficult and challenging. Plus, life is really difficult and challenging. So I love cards for a number of different reasons. I love these cards for so many different reasons. And one of them is that I just love the way that they feel, and I love shuffling, and I love looking at the artwork. This deck is really cool, really good. Like, it's a really good deck. It's really, really clear. It's really, really comforting. Like I said, it would be a really great deck for beginners. And it has its own, thing because it's an guardian angel deck. So it feels very protective. But this isn't the only deck that I've ever used in this way. I use many different decks in this particular way that I just play with them, that I just, play. I feel like there should be a better way to describe that, but there really isn't. Like, it's really just play. And I thought, I thought it would be, I thought it was important to like share these thoughts with you, because I'm at a place, now at the end of the year, where I'm reflecting upon what this year in many different ways, but what my year in tarot practice has been like for me, and what my goals are for this particular tool and practice in the upcoming year. And I'm reflecting upon my life, and I'm reflecting upon my journals, and I'm reflecting upon all the things that I have done and worked on, and how far I've come, and what I still need to do, and things like that. And then there's all the like holiday stuff and family stuff and things going on. So like it can get really overwhelming at this time of year, and I've been stressed and overwhelmed sometimes, and I've been joyful and excited other times, and it's just life, right? So I feel like these two ideas of work and play, and like a life balance, or something that's kind of universal, that I feel like would be beneficial to share with you all, that's like what I'm doing, and how good it is for me, how rewarding it is, how fun it is to look at this tool, the tarot and oracle, in this way, and incorporate it and engage with it in my life in these particular ways. I am very much in the thick of it with the journey of the lonely soul, and that's some serious emotional, psychological, spiritual work that I am doing right now. I don't know how long that particular practice will go on. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll keep you updated on it. And then the play aspect, that's not going anywhere. I'm definitely gonna continue doing that. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share with you my work and my play with the tarot and oracle, and how I see that and how it functions for me. And I hope that it that these ideas that gave you something to think about, and something that you find valuable in your own life and practice as well. And yeah, I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.